Welcome to the Old Oakley Workshop. I'm Richard. Today I'm going to cover the expansion joint problem I've got out on the driveway. I've got these gaps in the concrete, you might say, where a 1x4 used to be, and that 1x4 has rotted out over the years and actually disappeared in some of the locations. But over the years I pulled a little bit of it out as it would rot at the top, you know, there'd be a little layer there, you pull it out. Anyway, it's annoying and something's got to be done about it. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Used to be a board in there and it is just, this one's just flat disappeared. There's another one over here, same situation, about a 3/4 inch gap. There's another little one right there. Here's another one. This one's out on the driveway, goes all the way across, pretty long. I looked into what to do about this and I found out there's a couple of different things. One of them is a product made by Sika that comes in a tube like caulking and you squeeze it in there. The problem with that one is that I figure it's going to cost me about $3 a foot to put that in there because those gaps are so wide. Another one is Tremislab, which is an extruded plasticky, I don't know, rubbery type of thing that you can just shove down in there. That might be a good solution, but it also costs $3 a foot. And then I got to thinking, don't they make wood out of plastic? Yes, they make PVC lumber, and so maybe I could put that in there and it would never rot. To the store I go to get me some of that stuff, PVC lumber, and it will never rot out. So I got me some 12-foot and some 8-foot sticks, and I'm going to put them in. This is a little cleaning out tool that I use to clean the dirt out of the trenches. It's just a right angle bracket put on the end of a stick, and then I put this board across here to serve as like a guide or a gauge. I can drag along the edges of the little trench or the expansion joint, and then it allows for this little guy here to stick down at about 1.5 inches, which is the width of the 1x2 I'm putting in there. And so it worked great. So I'll try this thing out. Ooh, I get a situation here that I'm gonna have to, it feels like it's loose. It'll come out of there and get that out. And then just keep going, and it's working very well. And get that out of the way. Okay, there we go. So that's the way you do it. All right. Well, my little tool worked out quite well. I have a perfectly groomed trench there, and everything's going okay until I got down to right here. And the fellows that poured this patio, I guess they didn't quite get it together, huh? So they left me a little present, and I'm going to have to whack out of there with a cold chisel. So I'll do that next. Well, that was actually easy. A couple of whacks strategically placed took care of that, and there's some of the wood that was in there. So now the next thing is the fit test. So the next thing to do is run a little fit test with this board here, and just put it down in there and let's just see what happens. Everything seems to be okay, and yeah, I get to right here. There's a little bit of a problem where that piece was, but I think I can persuade a board to go down in there. And as I continue along, yeah, I think I'm going to be good all the way on this guy. So just keep going here to the end, and yeah, should be able to fit one in there very nicely. Took a little chiseling in that one spot, but I managed to get her in there. There she is, all the way down there to the end. Oh wow, looking good. Well, this joint turned out to be kind of annoying. There's roots have grown down in there. Here's one of them. I got it pulled out, and there's another one over here. Anyway, now I got one down in here that I can't get a hold of, and so I'm going to have to try to bust that in two and grab both ends and pull it out of there. Let's see what happens. Well, eventually I was able to get it out of there by using various methods like this to chisel it out, as you can see, a little bit at a time. Anyway, I think I'm good to go. All right, I think I got it. So now the problem is that the board is too thick, and so I won't go in there, and these piece of concrete edge there has got this little ridge on it right here where the roundover tool comes down. So this is back far enough, but this is not. So I'm gonna have to skinny down the piece to get it to put in there. This is what I'm doing to skinny up the boards. I have a feather board, the orange one there, to keep it tight against the fence, and I've got a white board with it's got a little bit of an angle to it to keep it down against the table. I just run it through like this. Run it through like this and like this and like this. When I get to the end, I have a pusher stick. I just push it through like this until I get to right there, and I freeze. I just freeze. And I turn the saw off and I wait for the saw to stop. And then after it's stopped, I walk around here and get the piece. All right. And what it does is puts this nice little edge right there like this. And so I don't do the top, okay? Top is still 3/4 of an inch. But the ridge that's down in there is just, you know, like right here. So, and then that's the little round over piece. So it works just fine. And by the way, this really makes a mess. And look at this. And it stinks too. And after a couple of rounds of skinnying the board a little bit, in she goes. Looks great. Here's one that's still got the wood in it. So use my little tool here, see what happens. Oh yeah. Okay, see that's what happens, been happening to most of them. Yeah, like that. Okay, so get that out of there. All I have to do is clean that out and put one in. Well, I guess that about wraps her all up. Project is complete. Got that one done. Got that one done. And I got one over here. Got this one done. Okay. Got this little guy done. Got this one done. It's really noisy out here with all these birds, crickets and stuff, whatever. Okay, got this one done. Yeah. And finally, this is the last one. Got her all done. Project complete. Well, that completes the expansion joint project. So maybe you too can save a little money by using PVC lumber instead of that other stuff in your expansion joints if you need to. Thanks for watching. See you next time.